Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be this parcel I've just got from my good friend Dave Ramsden. Now, this is a bit of a monster, as you can see. Now, Dave got in touch with me and said he wanted to send me something. He's got something for us. And I want to thank Dave once again because he sent this with an amazing P&P to make sure this got to me. And also, he had to pay a really huge customs bill on it. And I can't thank Dave enough for doing that for me. And it's just incredible that he's got. But he said he thinks I don't know what this is. He thinks that I would be blown away by this. He said it's one of these things that he thinks is going to be incredible. The thing is about custom charges, and get me started with that. It's obviously been opened to check. Now, I don't know what they were thinking was going to be in here. But anyway, if they thought it was going to be something that needed to check because of the size of it, fair enough. But the custom charges that they put on it do not warrant somebody opening it, saying, "Oh yes, that's what it is." It'll take them 5 seconds, and then putting some sticky tape around it. That's going to charge. That shouldn't even be a charge. It should be like a fiver, but it certainly wasn't. It annoys us when I hear about custom charges because I do know that they don't seem to warrant the money that they charge. That's what I think about that. And these days, I don't know. They must have some where you just shove it through one of them, what's it called, where you can see through things like you do in bags and airports and all that. I don't know. I just think it's a bit of a con. So I don't know what's in here. Obviously, the custom men do. So that's different. See, that's different. But I thought, I thought, is it? That's cheers from Emil Schultz. Now Emil Schultz, I got that book, which I'll link the description down below to show you that book that I got off Dave Ramsden, the big book that Emil Schultz had signed for me personally. And this is so good. This is the art that I can actually put on the wall. This is incredible to think that the bloke who's behind most, if not all, of the iconic images to do with craft work. This is something that he's actually signed and he's actually put there. I'm going to see if I can find any, like a frame that's going to fit that. I can even make one and put that on the wall. And that's an Emil Schultz art signed by him to say 23 as well. So that's obviously brand new. It's amazing to think that I always say this, that Emil Schultz, for a certain length and period in his magnificent achievements in life, actually knew who I was for a brief spell. It's crazy. Oh, this is some slip covers. Slip covers needs protect. Got so many of these. They're great, and they're all coming in very handy because I put them on my vinegar syndrome. If you know that vinegar syndrome haul that I got off my good friend Martin Culley, I'll put it down below in the description. You've got to see that video. I just couldn't believe it. So got them. So he's given us some slip covers as well. So I'll go through the slip covers. I'll just go through these and see if there's any on these that I can put on my movies there. If I have got any, I will put them on at the end of this video. First up is Game Night. Now I've got this movie, and it's a great movie actually. I think just Jason Bateman is a very underrated comedic actor. This is a great movie. Me and the Debs watched it and we had such a good time with it. So if you want a good laugh, this one's for you. Don't think I've got a slipcover in it, so that's probably going to be a slipcover upgrade. Next is uh, the the Possession, based on a true story. Lentic. Oh, look at that. And if that, yeah, look at that. That is brilliant, isn't it? Now, there's a lot of these movies. Now, I've probably heard of this movie, but I don't think I've heard of one called The Possession. But I bet I have. But I have seen it in the shop. Never seen that in particular though. The scariest Exorcist film in years. That's great, isn't it? That's one of the best slips I've seen, lenticulars I've seen. Next up is Showgirls. Well, this was a strange movie. I remember watching this in the back of the day because it was Paul Verhoeven. I was watching all his stuff and I went, what's going on with this movie? Now, I wouldn't say it's a dud, but I would say it's very so bad it's good. This girl here, I can't remember her name now, but she's in Elizabeth Berkley. She was in Saved by the Bell, which I used to watch with Matthew used to watch as a kid, and actually watched the reunion one they did with the new ones without Screech, obviously, and it was quite good actually. So yeah, I think well, obviously the Blu-ray will probably be next to nothing. Oh well, it's good, lovely slip though. So I'll probably pick that up just for reminiscent purposes. Next up is Side Effects. Steven Soderbergh has directed this one. Shannon Tatum, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Rooney Mara. Never heard of it. Oh yes, I know it by face. And Jude Law. Good. Never heard of this movie, but it's a good cast. I'll put nice CX Pine. Next up is Mars Attacks. Now, I've definitely got this, but I don't think it's got a slip. So I'll go on my possible slip upgrades pile there. Next up is One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest. What a movie this is. Absolutely brilliant. Which one of you nuts has got any guts? Such a meat mom used to love this movie as well. And I didn't think she would. What a scary character that was. Nurse Ratchet. I don't own this one actually. I'd have to pick this up on Blu-ray because I know it's come out with a one of those HMV exclusive ones, but I looked at it and I thought, it's just probably the Blu-ray with a load of stuff on the top of it for a large amount of money, which I don't agree with. Next up is, oh my, look at that. Once Upon a Time in the West. This is the best spaghetti western film, bar the Clint Eastwood ones you'll ever see. Charles Bronson's in this one. It's got James.
Where's me ladders?
Henry Fonda as the bad guy. Now, if you've not seen this movie, this is a long film, but the first half hour, or like a movie in itself. Just watching that first half hour is like a treat you'll never see. Obviously directed by Sergio Leone, and probably it's got the Ennio Morricone has probably done the soundtrack. Although I can't read that from here. But I've got this definitely, but I don't think it's got the slipcover on. It's just an amazing movie. It's one of the best spaghetti westerns you'll ever see, and it looks so good. I think this influenced a lot of them. I'm trying to think, did this come out after The Fistful of Dollars or before? No, it was after, wasn't it? I think 1968, I believe. Amazing that one. So that's an upgrade, that one. Next is Don't Breathe. Now, I really want to see this movie. I'll have to get it on CEX. But this is a one that I'm really interested in, probably because of the cover. I know is a sequel, Don't Breathe 2. I might be guessing on that one. The best American horror film in 20 years. Don't Breathe, definite CEX pickup. So there's game night. Actually have got the slip. Now, when I got this slip, I was thinking, hang on a minute. Look at the different colours on there. Now, I noticed this was the American. This is the American slipcover. So this wouldn't fit on here, but it would be a tight squeeze. But yeah, so I have got that one. But it's interesting, I've got like the variant is different, isn't it? The colours, don't often see that. But on Mars Attacks, I didn't have the slipcover for that one. This could do with a fair 4K. It's absolutely so colourful. There you are. Ak. Mars Attacks, 1986. And yes, Once Upon a Time in the West. Didn't have a slipcover for that. This is a lovely slipcover as well. Brilliant movie. So thanks once again, Dave. Shame about that slip on there, but it's nice to see a US variant. So in this box that's really well packaged, first up is this one. I'll say I don't know. I'll ask Dave when I speak to him. Is this? Have they looked through? Is this the way that you've wrapped it up, Dave? Because have they opened up everything in here? The custom chart. Well, actually, got to get the money somehow, but I don't know if they've actually done that. I don't think they have, but did they do that? And they stuck them back down? Just guessing. So this one has in it, yes, I did say to Dave, Dave said to me, he said, have you seen Rosemary's Baby? And I said, yes, a long time ago, but I was really interested in seeing it again. So I would imagine Dave's upgrade to the 4K. And this is, it's such a good movie, and Mia Farrow was great in this movie. And I did want to get this one because I watched this a long time ago on the TV, and everybody had this impression that you kind of see what's going on here. I don't know if you do, so I want to actually watch it again. But I remember when I watched this one, it was one of those ones where a bit like The Wicker Man, when you know there's like a really like odd air to the movie, and you know there's some real impending doom coming for the protagonist. Is that what they call them, protagonists? But yeah. So Rosemary's Baby, that's the one I've been interested in going to pick up for a long time, but never have done. So Rosemary's Baby and the protective cover as well. These are from these boxes are from Jamslips, it looks like. Dave's been getting some Jamslips covers. So I'll leave a link down to Jamslips down below if you want some. I get some all the time and they look absolutely amazing. So please get over to Jamslips if you want to get some great slip covers. They're custom made to your choice for those slip covers that you can't find anymore or weren't even issued for. I do it for 4Ks. Next up is, yes, It Follows. Now, this is a movie that I know it's come out. Has it come out in 4K? I'm not too sure. I know it's come out by Second Sight, but this is such a good movie. I think there's going to be a sequel coming out of this one, and I rate this movie highly. Now this has got a slipcover on here, and it's a one that I watched. I think Matthew had it, so I thought I'll take a look at that. He said it's really good, but when I watched it, I was quite blown away by how good this is. If you haven't seen this movie, it's a really good watch, very atmospheric as well, and quite different for a movie these days, which you don't really get in horror these days. So I will be watching that one, and it's got a beautiful slip on there. That's It Follows. So this was a one that I heard a lot of people talking about on 4K, saying the 4K was meant to be amazing, and it's a one that I thought about watching quite a few times. It is Ghost in the Shell. This is the 3D version, although I haven't got 3D capability. But I did want to get this one. I've no doubt that the Blu-ray will look really nice as well. But I wanted to just check it out because it's a one. I think it's coming off. I'm not too clued up on these manga things, although I do quite like them. Used to like them a lot back in the day. You know, like what the name of it now? Akira. Yeah. So I'll be very intrigued to watch that one because it was, maybe how it looks is really interested us. So that's Ghost in the Shell 3D. Now, also, David sent me here some some covers, some protective covers for vinyls. Now, as you know, I'm getting right back in my vinyl thing, and I haven't got any covers for them yet. And Dave said, "You're going to put any plastic covers in them?" I said, "Yeah, definitely." He says, "What do you?" I didn't know what to think of. He said, "I'd send you some to see what you think." He's also sent us some ones for double double vinyls, which I've got quite a few. And he's told me a way of putting them in without sort of wrecking the vinyl. So I will be putting them on a different video. I'll show you what they look like. But this is great because with these new vinyls I'm getting, I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep them in the best condition they can. I mean, I used to keep my other ones in the good conditions until they got water damage. My own fault, I put them in the wrong place, but can't go back, can you? But nowadays, I'm going to make sure that they all look and stay in pristine condition. So that's amazing. So that's all them vinyl things, which I can't wait to put on there. And I will be doing a vinyl update maybe and show you all the vinyl I've got recently. I think there's someone else in here. There's oh, oh, oh. These are so good. Now, as you know, I've got some vinyl there, and the covers are wrecked, and I've been looking through to get them cleaned up, and I will clean them up, and I need something to house them in, because I can't put them back with the covers. And this is what I was actually looking at these to see, it's something you can put them in, so that will keep my vinyl in the best condition it can be. Obviously, the covers are toast, but this will be, oh, it's amazing that. So I'm looking at these online, but I'm just so amazed. I mean, this isn't cheap, you know. It's not as if you say, oh, that's just a penny here, a penny there. This is quite a really generous gift from Dave. Unbelievable. And there's something in the bottom here, which is wrapped up. Now, Dave said he was going to send a letter, but he forgot to put the letter in. But I want to thank Dave and Jill once again for thinking of me and giving me all this stuff, especially, which I will find a place for, Emil Schult's artwork. I wonder if this artwork is in that book. I'll have a look out for it to see what it's actually called. But the fact that to have that connection with craftwork, which people don't get, is honestly, on speaking of craftwork, my good friend Stephen Watson, who I went to see Craftwork with in 2004, I put some pictures on of when we went to see them. It was absolutely brilliant. And it was the best sound I've ever heard at a concert. We stood right at the front and we saw all the band and what they were doing. It was just so great. And he's just went to see them. Actually, he tagged us in on Instagram to say, look, I'm going to go and see this thing after 15 years from the last thing that we went to go and see them. I'm going to actually go and see them again. I was like, I can't believe this. So in here is I've seen it and I don't believe it. That's all I'm saying about that. This is well wrapped. Oh my God. Dave did say to me, he said, you're going to see something here you won't believe. And he's got it for us. And I can't believe what I'm actually looking at. Speaking of craftwork, Dave has got me signed by Emil Schultz. Now, if I'm right in thinking that is incredible, but whatever this is, well, it's iconic. I mean, look at that. I mean, you may think, as a casual person who doesn't know much about craftwork or the sort of myth of craftwork, they're so minimalistic. This is their sort of thing that I like something that's just done really sort of like I say it minimalistic. But Emil Schultz is the man behind all of this. If you see this and you're familiar with Autobahn, the cover, this embossed cover that I used to have, I haven't got it now. That was a water damaged fatality. This is actually, is it? I'll have to get in touch with because he said there's something here I'm not going to believe, and I don't believe this. Never thought it was going to be this. I didn't know what I thought it was going to be, but I mean, this is what you paid you. But I mean, I don't know. Can't really describe how I feel. But I was talking about this going on the wall, and it will go on the wall. But this to go on the wall, I'll tell you where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it next to my stereo, which has now come out of hibernation, and I'm interested in getting my vinyl on there. I was looking at the vinyl of this one the other day actually, and it was £50. Now it's a beautiful looking vinyl, and I think £50 is a lot, but for it, but if it come down to £30, I'll definitely get it. Because Kraftwerk's Autobahn album, even the B side, which I didn't like at first, well, Comet and Melody 2 is an amazing song, but the rest of them are a little bit sort of like soundscapes, which is a bit more like the Kraftwerk. This was Kraftwerk Autobahn was their fourth album, I think. And the first two, especially, were just like electronic or maybe just percussion, just sort of like bangs and clatters. It was a bit weird. Now, Kraftwerk don't want to put them out, Kraftwerk 1 and 2, because I think that they won't go, they don't call them as, they just call them as, what do they call them? They've got a name for their ones that they've got. But this is, I mean, I've got the book, I've got the Emil Schultz book, I'm going to have to get in touch with Dave, and I will maybe actually, because I haven't done this video completely yet, I'll come back and I'll talk about what this actually is in the scheme of things, and I can give you more of a detail about it. But this is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to put that stuff on my vinyl as well, because I've been I've been looking at that vinyl so many times. I'm surprised I'm wrecked them just by actually looking. I'm starting to listen to them. I'm having a great time. And this new vinyl I'm getting, this new heavier vinyl, 180 gram ones, sound fantastic. They really do. But this is just, I just can't believe it. But I've got to find out the story behind this because this has got a story on it. Even if it hasn't got a story on, it has got a story on for me. Because it's definitely, I can't wait to get in touch with Stephen Watson and tell him, look what I've got. And also Peter Muscut as well, Peter Tenacious Muscut, who's actually changed his middle name to Tenacious. He's a writer and he's a huge fan of Kraftwerk. And I'm going to get in touch with him and just say, look what I've got. But I cannot thank you enough, Dave. This is above and beyond anything that I thought could be possible. But wow, and I mean, the fact that people get in touch with you and say they've got something for you, whether it be, I don't know, just the smallest thing or the biggest thing or anything, it is just so incredible that people take the time out to do that. They don't have to, but they do. And tailored to things that I mean, you wouldn't believe how much I was into Kraftwerk. I still am, but I was heavily into them when I changed from my punk roots when this type of music came out. I know this was out in 1974, but this was to me was when I heard these things, it was like a revelation. It was because I never heard anything like it back in the 80s. You hadn't heard electronic music. Well, I hadn't anyway. And it was in its infancy as well. What I'll do is at the end of this video, well, you'll see this in about 10 seconds time. I'll come back. I'll go through those ones. I'll tell you what the picture quality looks like in them. And also I'll show you when I put some of my violin into this things there. I'll show you what they look like. And I'm going to go now and have a word with Dave and ask about the story behind this amazing, iconic piece of art. It is art. This is the type of thing that you see in the Tate Modern, for instance. And you look at it and you think that is stunning. There's not much to it, but it's the fact that it is what it is, and it's got it's minimalistic, but there's a lot to it. And when you look through Emil Schultz's book, some of the things he's got in there are so like they're just a thing, but they're huge. I don't know how to describe it. Wow. So I'll be back soon. So I spoke to Dave about the Emil Schult artwork on Autobahn. I'll tell you about that in a moment. First of all, I just wanted to give you a quick look at this one again. And this artwork here, I've got a picture where it does actually, well, it kind of features in here, although something like it features in here around about 2015. But I couldn't find the actual piece of artwork in here. And also, as you can see there, I've got Dave's letter he sent on Kitchen Roll. If you know, you know. And also, just a quick look, there is to John Perry, for John Perry, Emil Schult. Still, that's absolutely incredible. So, I've got me artwork. What I wanted to do was I wanted to have this in situ by the time I finished this video off, but unfortunately I haven't got it there. There's a few places that I fancy doing it in, and I might have to sort of twist Deborah's arm about it, and also I'll have to maybe alter a few things and move them around, but this one takes precedence. So the story behind this actually comes from Emil Schult himself. What he's got is he's got some real full-size artworks of these pieces, and that would be incredible to have, but they're meant to be absolutely massive. So what he does is he makes smaller reproductions of his artwork, and this is where this is. This has come from Emil Schult, and it is signed there, personally signed. And this is something that I will cherish. It will go on the wall. It will be a talking point. It's if you're a fan of Kraftwerk and they say somebody inadvertently come to the house and they went through something and says, "Oh, you've got that thing there," and when they actually found out what it was, they would be absolutely stunned, as I was. The fact of having, as I keep saying, the fact of having something that is so closely connected to Kraftwerk is something that I never thought I'd own. I've been a huge fan of Kraftwerk since the first time I saw them. I think the first time I heard them, actually inadvertently, They had a piece from Autobahn was on a TV series, which was the bit when it goes in the boom, boom. Pardon me for doing that. And also, Computer World was used on a computer program that was out in the early 80s. The theme from that was Computer World. So I had an introduction at them, and then obviously the hit with Big with the model. And I went back and I got all of the albums and just thoroughly loved them. You know, the whole ethic of Kraftwerk is different to anything else. And they kept it up for all the years they've been going. I've had this, sort of robotic stance on everything they want to do and this clinical look to their product. So I want to thank Dave and Jill once again for thinking of me and getting this from the man himself, Emil Schult, a founding member in a way of Kraftwerk. I know he was I'm quite sure he was in the band for a brief spell of time in the early days, but he's carried on as an artistic director since then. And they've been so taken with his work that they've used it on countless albums. And the minimalistic, can't even say it, Michael,
Where's me ladders?
and the minimalistic theme really works for Kraftwerk. So thanks once again. This will be going when I do get this up, I will show you on another video where I've decided to put this in the room. I want to get it as close to record player as I can. Now, when we're looking there, as a brief side note, right next to where the stereo is, I was drilling right next to that. I'll show you in the video. I haven't got the footage from that, which would have been brilliant. So I drilled next to this place, next to the wall where this door is, and the stereo is right next to it. And the drill bit went through the electric cable, and there was a massive explosion and a spark, which didn't kill us. And Deborah jumped from that room into the other room. So I want to thank Debs once again for thinking of me when she ran away when I was getting electrocuted. So there is that. But anyway, just thought I'd add that one in when I'm sitting, because I want to get it in a place where when I'm sitting listening to the vinyl, which I'm getting right into in a minute, I've been listening to vinyl all day today when I've been doing stuff in the back room. I'm going to sit at one side of the room. I've got my chairs, and then I'm going to look back into the room where I get the soundscape of the speakers, and I'm going to hopefully have this, center stage, and I can look at it, and amongst other things to do with music and vinyl. So once again, I can't think, when I've talked to people about it, the kind of like, what you've got, what it's something that I don't hear anybody talking about. Like someone say, oh yeah, there's 10 of them. Yeah, you can get them in Poundland. This is something that is just so unique. And to be honest, at this point, I didn't even know that Emil Schult did these type of things until I got in touch with Dave, and Dave, generously got this for me and brought it over to the UK. It's exported and everything, so straight from the man himself. So unbelievable. So thanks once again. This has been one of the best things I've ever received, one of the most surprising things, one of the most if you go back to my earlier life, if I'd had a time machine, Doctor Who style, and I got myself when I used to go into my bedroom and I had my setup of all my vinyl, and I used to have all these broken computers and broken bits and pieces of things, and I used to pretend I was Kraftwerk, and used to put the songs on, used to pretend I was in the band of Kraftwerk, and playing with all these broken bits of electronics, and imagine myself probably blasting this out, and imagine myself as a member of Kraftwerk. I was only 14, so you can't blame us. But yeah, so thanks once again, Dave and Jill. This is great. So we are fahren auf der Autobahn. Vielen Dank, mein lieber Freund.